Hi there, welcome back. So we've got another video. We're going to play and experiment with a bit of Aquacast and some of these lovely pigments by a company called Colour Fun. Now, unusual pink mould there. Oh, and there's one here by Resin as well. As usual, everything that we've used in today's video will be linked in the description box below. So I'm going to attempt to use that pink mould, and it's a single stem vase which is in the shape of pebbles, if you've ever seen a tower of pebbles. Plus I'm going to try and integrate one of these beautiful leaves. So I've mixed up some Aquacast, following the manufacturer's instructions of course as the mixing ratio, and I'm adding in some of this lovely orange pigment. Now this is pigment that is specifically for EcoFlow or for Aquacast. So Aquacast, Resin, Jasminite, Hydroflow, all of those. And I'm just experimenting with some colour mixes. So I suppose in a way I was hoping I'd get a marbling effect, but as you have seen or may have seen from the thumbnail, not everything that I make makes it to the end shot. And I'll explain why as we get a bit further into the video. Now, if you've seen my previous one where I did a lovely green set from Aquacast, lovely set of pieces, I'm following exactly the same procedure as I did for that one. So I'm made up the Aquacast, I've added some white pigment to it, give it a good mix, added in the colours I was going to use, and then just gone through it with a kebab skewer, that is, a wooden kebab skewer, to try and get a marbling effect. Now, yeah, some of the pieces turn out better than others. Anyway, here we go with this vase mould. And this is a very bright shade of pink. Look at that beautiful shot there where you can see it coming out and lovely marbling going on. The Aquacast with all the pigments mixed in. And I thought to myself, wow, this is going to be great. A little bit of overpour going on there, which I get rid of. I've put that to one side. I had to balance it in a clear plastic cup because it was a bit wobbly, that mould, and I didn't want it to fall over. So going on to this lovely rectangular tray and just basically pouring it in out of the jug. Nice single stream going into it. You never quite know how this is going to cure. It's a little bit like if you use epoxy resin, if you've ever tried doing a marbling technique with that as well. So just tapping the sides of the mould gently, very, very gently, to encourage any bubbles to come up to the surface. The only thing is if you do this, you are encouraging the colours to mix more, so you will get less of a marbling effect, usually. But you never quite know till it's completely cured and you've demoulded it. So all the bubbles come up to the surface usually, and then you can just get rid of them. And you can get rid of them just by going over with a stir stick, or you can just lightly blow very gentle breath across the top. But you know, I've never really found it necessary to do that, certainly not with this project. So we've got the lovely little square shaped pot there as well. So I've poured it in, and again I'm just literally tapping the side. What is it that Steve McDonald says? Tappy wappy. And here is a bonus one, because I had quite a bit of resin left over, or eco resin left over. So I found another pot, and this one's a lovely little pot with a lid. It's got slightly bowed shaped sides, which is great. So can you see the difference in colour? Look, there's all the white seems to have gone to the bottom. And poured some in, gave it a bit of a tap, then poured some into the lid, because I was a little bit worried at this stage I wouldn't have enough to do the lid as well. And look at that. So this is really thickening up at this point. There we are. I mean, this looks lovely. This, when it's cured, is more the effect I was trying to go for. So whether or not I need to have a bowl that I mix the Aquacast in, and then another bowl or jug that I then do the marbling effect in. So I do a layer of white, pigment colours, stir them through, another layer of white over the top, pigment colours, stir them through. Maybe I'll try something like that. But here we are. There we go. So I've just topped up that pot there, the little lid and the lid. And as you can see, because it's me, you know, we're going to have it flowing over the top. But it's easy. It's a very easy clean up, this one. And I am, you've probably noticed, wearing the gloves, and also I am still wearing a mask with this one. Now, we're on a demold. a very rusty brown colour. I didn't hold up much hopes for this, I have to say. I didn't know how difficult was this going to be to demold because I've never used this mould before. I really wanted to get it because I'd seen it done in white and I thought it looked stunning. And why on earth didn't I just stick to doing it in white? I haven't got a clue. But anyway, it was a good idea at the time. Now, this, as you can see, has been sped up somewhat because it took me ages to demold this. And as you can see, I'm getting this horrible rusty brown pigment all over, pigment dust, should we just call it, all over my gloves. I will say to you, this is at least 2 hours later. Aquacast is usually about an hour to an hour and a half. It's usually an hour and a half for it to completely cure. And I just didn't get it. I mean, look at that. There's the opening at the top. And I wasn't impressed. I loved it at the bottom. And then I noticed we've got a hole where we shouldn't have a hole. And yeah, it goes all the way through, which is such a shame. I really did try sanding some of this down slightly and very, very gently here. And to be honest, I'm going to stop it. I actually stopped the video soon because I tried sanding it, thinking that I'd get rid of some of this rusty brown colour. But it just didn't happen. It just didn't happen. I put a lot of effort into doing it. And in the end, I gave up as well because there was a big hole where there shouldn't be a hole. So, moving on. So you are not going to see the pebble vase in the final bit, I'm afraid. But look, here's the rectangle tray. I love the effect on the back here. Absolutely love it. And I love the effect on the other side. But again, bits of pigment and the product itself, you know, the Aquacast left behind in the mould, unfortunately. Got some overpour here, and I'm literally just, because it's very thin, I'm just able to break it off with my thumb there. I mean, look at the colour of the state of my gloves. See, that shouldn't happen. And I don't know, I've got a feeling it's the brand of pigment that I've used. So I think going forward, I think unless I'm going to do a solid colour, I'm not going to use those to do a marble effect. But, you know, apart from that, I really quite like this. We've got 2 long splodges for some reason. I'm not sure quite why. But look, can you see the difference there between the vase and the tray? Much prefer the tray. Now, again, this has been sped up a bit because you don't need to sit and watch me demold something for 15 minutes. I mean, demolds videos I love. I love watching things, seeing how they come out and everything. But you just don't need to. You don't need to be sat and get a bit bored. And we want to keep you engaged if possible in the video and not think, oh, well, this is boring. You know, I'm going to fast forward or I'm just going to switch it off. I hope you haven't done that. If you've joined us today for the premiere of this video, hello. Nice to see you there. Thank you for supporting the channel. If you've joined us in the live chat, hello to everybody in the live chat. If you want to join us in the live chat, you have to subscribe to our channel and then basically hit the notification for all notifications. We upload 3 times a week, Wednesdays, Fridays and Sundays at 5 p.m. UK time. And then if you subscribed and you join us, you can then join us in the live chat. And we're there to answer questions about the video that you're watching. And if you've got any suggestions or tips that you want to share with the group, then, you know, that's where you can do it. You type in your comments and suggestions. We like to keep it nice and friendly, so constructive comments only, please. So, moving on back to the video, look at this. I love that. Now, it's a bit of a shame because we've got some underneath of the parts, and the underneath parts of that lid, we have got some where there must have been some air bubbles that have got trapped. But I'll show you how I deal with that. Now, these are some bonus bits. I didn't show you me pouring these in, just purely because I had leftover resin. Now, that looks so pale. That's a lotus flower. And again, this is a new mould. Which I showed you in one of our haul videos that we did. Why not check out our playlist and you'll be able to see everything that we've done recently. including a large Temu haul. And again, just to say, we're not sponsored for any of our videos. We have been in the past for 2 or 3, but not in the last I think 6 months or so, I don't think. But that's absolutely okay. We've just, anything that we've used in the videos that we publish to YouTube, we've actually purchased ourselves. Look at this. Now that is a chrysanthemum head. It's stunning. The detail in these 2 flower moulds, absolutely out of this world. And back, here we are. This was the square-shaped pot. Now, I knew I couldn't demold this one. My fingers and my hands were hurting quite a bit at this point. So I tapped in, and this is Wayne now demolding. Now, Wayne does also do some of our demos for us. You'll have seen he's done some lovely rings recently. And if you have hit the notification bell, you'll know that the video after this one, so in 2 or 3 days time again, I think it's next Wednesday, so this is going out Sunday, and on Wednesday of next week you'll see his video where he's made some lovely mobile phone stands. So, don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe and all notifications bell. But look at this. This is beautiful. So this is more what I wanted to go for. And I think, to be honest with you, it's literally just practice makes perfect. So everything really worked well, apart from the awful pebble-shaped vase. As you'll see. There you go. I mean, that might be what some people like. That's absolutely fine. But that really wasn't what I was expecting. I was quite disappointed. So that is going to get crushed or broken up again to go in with the rest of the terrazzo pieces that I've got. See, I just wasn't happy. I should have warned you, sorry. This is now a time lapse of me sanding all of the other pieces that did remain in the video. And you will see at the end. So this is sped up quite quickly actually, it's a time lapse. So all I'm doing is using a nail file or an emery board. It's got a very, very fine sanding grit to it. You can use wet and dry sandpaper if you wish. And then just sand down all the rough edges, which is what I did there. I'm going to seal this one using Hydroflow, which is a product from a company called Silicone. And Silicone are the people that manufacture Aquacast. You can of course use, if you like a different one, a gloss sealer, then you can use that. If you watched our green the previous video to this where I've made green marble set, you'll notice that I used a different gloss sealer, a different brand. There we go. So also incorporating these lovely feathers. These are PET stickers. Just making sure I'm getting the line up and placement to what I want. Do I need to do any trimming up? If I do, then this is the point where you would trim up. So I do trim up a piece on here. There we go. Because I really don't like those 2 long splodges, those white splodges. There we go. So of course you could use anything that you have. You don't have to use feather PET stickers. If you've got flowers, you could use flowers. You could use maybe some foliage. You've got some dried flowers you want to use. You could always just place some dried pressed flowers down there and then cover them in a clear coat of resin, which is what we will do once we stuck these lovely PET stickers down. And as I said, everything that we've used in today's video will be linked in the description box. So just going to use my scissors there just to pick it up and do a little bit of trimming there as well. There we are. So the back peels off. It makes them super, super duper sticky. Sticking to my gloves and everything. And you're only going to get once, maybe twice, if you're lucky, goes at placing these before it really does stick down firm. So just, am I happy with that? Ooh. The only thing is it does stick, and I really shouldn't have taken all of the backing off. Never mind. So I'm happy with that. I'm just pressing it down with my finger, making sure that all the little air bubbles come out of it. And here is the other one as well. Please excuse the state of my left hand. As you can see, I've got a lot of pigment dust and Aquacast dust on it. Believe it or not, I did have gloves on as well. So yeah, that's what that orangey mark, the orangey coloured marks are on my hands. So just got an extra little bit there that I need to snip off. So I'm going to go in with my scissors and just snip that off there. There we go. So that's that one snipped and finished. And there, just sort of press it down with your hand firmly, seal it all down, and then I passed it over to Wayne, who in the next clip here you can see now I have sped this up slightly. He'd mixed up some T-Expert resin, 1:1 mixing ratio. This is epoxy resin, and it needs to go over the top of these feathers just to seal them in. Now he's not using a lot at all, because we want a very, very thin coat over the top of it, so it just encapsulates those lovely PET stickers, and you know, it just protects the base of it. It also makes it super duper glossy. Can you see there? So he's put a little bit down the middle, and he's just gently manipulating the resin from one side of the trinket tray to the other, just by tilting it slightly. Also notice that he too is also wearing gloves. Do make sure that whenever you are using resin, you protect yourself by using gloves and wearing a respirator mask, protective clothing, and working in a well-ventilated area. Now, what I decided to do, I did the same as I had done with the green set that I made in the previous video to this. Bit of UV resin, some white iridescent glitter, and blinged it all up. So I applied it there, applied it to the holes that I got on the underside of this lid, and covered it in a bit more glitter, because you can never have too much glitter. And then I did also cure everything under a UV lamp that we have, or your UV torch. Look at that. Oh, I love this pot. And here it is in the final shot. Absolutely stunning. You will see as well that I've used one of the lovely little flowers, the chrysanthemum there. I glued it to the lid of that pot, and I just think it finishes it off really nicely. I'm not missing, I don't think the pebble vase is missed at all here, but I'm not going to be defeated. I'll have another go at that. Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the all notifications bell, and we'll see you again very, very soon. Take care, everyone.